Okay.
Audio is on both of them. Good.
Very
Good.
nice.
Recording.
Yep.
We are recording.
Speed.
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 What's up, everybody? We are Cinematics, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be diving into the world of animation, starting with talking about our 5 favorites Disney animated movies. We're each going to be going around just talking about what Disney movies we love, which ones we grew up with, which ones mean the most to us. I am rocking my recently bought Mickey Mouse hat, especially for the occasion, straight from Walt Disney World. So
Very nice.
Yeah,
Love
coming
that.
off hot from
curious.
that.
Yeah.
Ready to talk about some Disney movies.
Let's get it.
So I think let's just get right into it. We all grew up with Disney movies,
Yes.
right, as part of our lives.
Definitely part of my childhood for sure.
Absolutely. Growing up, I wanted to be either Disney animator, Disney Imagineer. That was
Very
always
nice.
working in that field was a big part of my life. Being a voice actor was a big part of what I wanted to do with that. And these movies were obviously the biggest influence. Well, not necessarily Big Hero 6, Bambi and Alice in Wonderland, but the brand
Yeah.
was a huge impact on me. So I'm excited to be talking about all these. John Mark,
Sam.
what would be your 5th
Always they
favorite
come to me first, huh? All right.
animated Disney film?
Okay, boys. My number 5 is Dinosaur, 1999.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Now,
Wow.
obviously, you guys know that Jurassic Park is my favorite film of all time. Always has been, even as a kid. And what better thing to do than to have an animated film that is about dinosaurs and talking dinosaurs, also having it be using some of the best animation, especially for 1999, the computer generated animation was phenomenal. I think it's a little underrated, honestly. It's a great story. It's definitely it's engaging, family, but there's some gruesome stuff in it still.
Yeah, it does get pretty dark at times.
Yeah, it does. But it's overall, it feels good. Especially after Jurassic Park, I think people were still having that craving for for dinosaurs. It's almost like an updated Land Before Time,
Similar, yeah.
but a little bit more mature, honestly. But yeah, no, I love it. I don't know if you both seen it, right?
I have not.
You have
I
not.
I
That's
used to
gonna
watch
change.
it growing up. We had it on VHS, would
Same.
watch it, but I haven't watched it in recent years.
Hmm.
I know it's weird because it's not a talked about Disney film,
It's not.
but also it was technically for the studio their first fully computer animated movie.
Yes, it was.
And-
that's why it's big.
That's why it's big, but most people would say, "Oh, it's Toy Story," but that's in the world of Pixar.
Exactly.
Like, this is Disney's first, and it's I do gotta watch it again. I've heard was actually just recently listening to someone talk about it, and
Nice.
they basically were saying that they didn't feel like it was as good as they remembered it being, the groundbreaking technology, but I do remember it being great.
Yeah, it's great. No,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, man. It's I don't know. It has the best of everything. Great characters, great voice actors, legendary voice actors. And I remember like loving the main villain or the villains in the film, the 2 Carnosaurs. They were so cool, but they were freaky as well, man. And just like Land Before Time, the villains or the carnivores, they don't speak, but they just roar and stuff like that. So it's like, it's so freaking cool. And the main dinosaur, the main character, I think his name is Aladar.
Yes.
Aladar. He was great. He's great and has this like hero journey as well. Hero's journey, being an orphan and then helping his foster parents, which are monkeys, and then they have to literally, and then they have to stick with me. It's fantastic though. And then he sees more of his kind, and they're having this big journey to go to this promised land almost, and
Land
he has
Before Time
to
as well.
exactly, and then he has to become a leader as well. And I think it's phenomenal. Honestly, guys, if it's been a while since you guys have watched it, do yourself a favor and watch it. I think it's underrated, and that's my number 5.
Well, thank you, John, for just knocking out of the park first swing with something that wasn't even on my radar
Oh, yeah.
of ones to think about. So that's great.
I have not seen Dinosaur. I have seen The Good Dinosaur.
The Good Dinosaur.
Oh my gosh.
I was this close to crying when I finally watched that movie.
Wow.
I still haven't seen that one.
You need to watch it, and I need to watch Dinosaur.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone's got a dinosaur movie to watch. It's great.
Nice.
Now, what are you going with for number
Okay.
5?
Number 5 is definitely Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
That was
Nice. Very nice.
probably one of the first, besides The Lion King, one of the first animated movies that I had seen, and I loved how weird it was, and just the exploration that it takes you on. It feels like you're on an acid trip.
Yo, it
especially
is
being a
very
kid,
weird.
not knowing what movies are really. It was like kind of the first stepping into that world.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like looking back on it now, it's something I probably shouldn't have watched that young, but it's
Yeah.
a great experience.
It is though. That's what's great about the old school Disney films, and that's why our list is gonna be like this, because it's the old school Disney films, I think, are just so much better than nowadays, man, in my opinion. I mean, I sound like a whippersnapper, but like like an old man, but it's true. Like I really do miss that edgy Disney, that it was for kids, but it had some mature stuff, it had some weird, outlandish stuff. I think it was I think that those previous decades of animation is phenomenal.
They are. No, and that's a great choice with Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, definitely. I didn't grow up watching that one, and it's weird, but I watched it. I don't know, first time I saw it was probably a couple years ago. I still loved it. It was great, and there's some Disney movies that people tell me you got to watch and check out, and if it's not one I didn't grow up watching, I noticed with a lot of them, I watch it and I'm like, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's an instant classic.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It gives you that nostalgia feeling.
Yes.
Even if you didn't grow up watching it.
Correct.
With the weirdness, the music in it is great.
Yeah.
And it's not what the topic is today, but the remakes that were made, there were 2 of them. First one's definitely the best, but it still holds true to that classic feel. Obviously, this one is probably the best one still, but I do like the first remake. The second one is kind of but it's great that we got to see that. I think it was like 10 years ago. And the other cool thing I just thought about it was that she's not just restricted to, her and Mad Hatter are not just restricted to Disney World. It's also in a lot of Batman stuff too.
Yes.
Like when you
absolutely.
see Jervis Tetch there and you see Alice in the animated series, it's like, whoa, what's happening here? It's like a meshing of something I've never thought would happen.
Yeah.
Which
True.
that's just really cool. But yeah, I think Alice in Wonderland classic. That's number 5 for me. So
Yeah.
Another great choice.
Yeah, man. All right, Sammy boy.
I did have a hard time picking what exactly were my 5 favorites for these. Just because, you grew up with all of them, but I really want to just hone in on what I think might have been the 5 best animated Disney films. And this one I would say is actually maybe one of their best films in general for the company. But for me, it's landing right now on number 5, and that is going to be Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
Wow.
what is it? First Oscar win, I believe,
Yeah.
for a Disney film. Or did it make the animated feature film category? I feel like it did.
I think it did.
Yeah.
time to check.
Yeah, you want to check that?
Yeah. Fact
That's
check.
one
that.
thing
Yeah.
that's one thing we have the potential to do, but we just haven't done yet.
We haven't done it.
I know.
What was the
first
question?
time for everything?
Did Beauty and the Beast create the category of best animated feature film? But with Beauty and the Beast, it is a movie. A lot of these ones are great animated movies, great family movies. You watch Beauty and the Beast, and I've watched it. It is my girlfriend's favorite Disney movie as well.
Nice.
So we've watched it a lot recently, and every time I watch it, I'm like, this is phenomenal. This is a incredible story. It's just makes you feel like you're watching an actual cinematic masterpiece level movie. Great animation at the time. What's
That
that
is
answer?
very interesting. It did. Category for best animated feature had not yet been invented. The popular Disney movie Beauty and the Beast didn't have a chance to win that award, but it was created after that because it was nominated for best film,
Wow.
but it lost to The Silence of the Lambs.
I mean, rightfully so, because Silence of the Lambs is phenomenal.
But for an animated movie-
But though, like,
That's
Beauty and the Beast
incredible.
was rivaling Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Whew.
And then they
it
were like,
is.
this
That's
needs recognition. Let's just create a new category.
Yep.
And
That's
it's one of those movies that you can watch as an adult, watch as a child, doesn't matter when it is. The animation in it is gorgeous, the story's phenomenal, and it's one of those ones that, you know, a lot of these Disney movies being based on old tales, I love what they do with them, and this is going to be a reoccurring thing as I bring up mine, is they'll almost, in a sense, yes, they will change them drastically. They'll Disneyfy a lot of the old tales, but with a lot of them, the new story they make is just as great and just as heartfelt,
If not better.
if not better at times. And I think
more like reachable to your general audience.
Yeah. I would agree
absolutely.
with that.
And Beauty and the Beast is one of those classic stories that has a heartfelt message, that has a great one for people to take back, and
Great music.
and phenomenal music,
good
amazing soundtrack, even of. I mean, that run of Disney films in the early '90s, I think, had the best written songs for them as well.
Yeah.
And this one, I would say, has the third best behind a couple others that are coming up.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
So, John, we'll go over to you with your number 4.
All right, boys. My number 4 pick, in my opinion, another underrated gem. And I say gem. I actually watched this recently. I don't know why. I think I just wanted to go through, down memory lane in the, this good old Nostalgiaville, and it was phenomenal. I'm talking about Treasure Planet.
Wow! Again,
Another
he
one
just
I have not seen.
That's gonna change, bro. That's gonna change.
What's going on with your list?
Yeah, no, that's gonna change, guys. Treasure Planet is awesome. It's literally Star Wars, but also Treasure Island and pirates in space. Pirates in space.
that's genius.
Boys, and the animation
Sounds like
in
Han
this.
Solo.
Yeah, to an extent, like the main character voiced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, by the way. He's great. It's a hero's journey. The special effects, the animation's phenomenal. The music is great. It's so freaking good. The characters are memorable and are iconic. It's literally one of those. It's like that feel-good blockbuster. And like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that, but in space. I keep bringing that up, but that's because it's phenomenal,
captivating,
dude. It's
the
very
concept.
much, it's so captivating. And if you guys haven't seen Treasure Planet,
I have not.
that's gonna change, boys. You guys have to watch it with me. We're gonna definitely pick a time to do that. Treasure Planet is amazing, and yeah, that's my number 4.
John's over here saying justice for the post-Renaissance Disney era,
That's right, baby.
late 90s, early 2000s era.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Hitting it with dinosaur treasure. I have seen Muppet Treasure Island, which correlates to the
I
same
knew-
story.
Yes, and yes.
So I know I like it.
knew he was gonna say this.
Oh, come on, Tim Curry is
Tim
our
Curry, though.
human lead for this one. It's fantastic.
Nice.
I mean, I feel like there's a disclaimer that I forgot to say when we started this video, was that I have not seen, obviously, 2 that you've already mentioned, some that you've seen. So there are films that we haven't seen, so don't get pissed if
We're
we don't
sorry.
mention them.
We have.
These are the ones we have seen and the ones that we just think are the best. So
It's okay, everyone. I will make sure that they see all of these films.
I still haven't seen Moana.
All right, I haven't seen that either.
that's sad. I won't cry.
I
'cause
just
we're
literally
filming right
just
now.
literally you just exposed me as well. Thanks.
Yeah, you guys need to see that.
Yes.
Anyway,
what do we got?
all right. So number 4.
Ooh.
I don't need to talk much about it because someone already talked about it.
Uh-oh.
It's obviously not 2 of John's films because I haven't seen those. So it's Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Very
There
nice.
it
Very
is.
nice.
You already said everything that needs to be said. Just like Alice in Wonderland, I love the live action. Might be a really hot take. It is a really hot take, but I think the live action is better than the original.
Very hot.
But the original is still really good. Yeah, I don't have any more things to say.
It's the only live action that rivals the animated, though. You're right.
Yeah, like
I agree with
in
that.
my opinion, it's better, but I understand why the original is still better. But to say that it's even just as good compared to the other remakes we've gotten that are trash is just I'm glad we got one.
Absolutely.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Nice.
We all jumped on that one.
Nice.
So my number, what are we on now? 4?
4.
Number 4 is going to be we're going to go way back with this one
Oh.
for a movie that did not initially do well for Disney, but later became known as their masterpiece. We are talking about Pinocchio.
Very nice.
I did a rewatch a couple years ago of I wanted to try and rewatch every Disney movie. I didn't make it all the way. I made it to Jungle Book. But Pinocchio being the second one that I watched, I was kind of ranking them as I went through. And that one, for the longest time, I was just like, nah, didn't beat it. Because this movie is just phenomenal. It's so good. It groundbreaking animation for 1940. They took what they did with Snow White, setting the lair for what could be these, at least in the Western world, a animated film,
Right.
making the known concept. But then with Pinocchio, they went full in and made just a full feature film with the full character story, so much heart, one of the most beautiful stories. This is one of the examples of Disney taking a story, making it better. In the book, Jiminy Cricket are in the stories, and even in the story with him. And then we have this amazing friendship through them. It's great tale of the human condition. If you ever want to really just learn more about Pinocchio than you ever thought, look up what Jordan Peterson has to say about Pinocchio. In a little preparation, I was listening to that, and I was just like, oh, yeah, no, this is great.
It's been a while since I watched it too, but still, whenever it's mentioned, I can remember it like that, and I do have to watch it again because it is one of the best animated films of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And freak.
I was gonna
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
the 2 new ones that came out. One by Peter. Yeah. No, it was either Toro or Jackson. I can't.
Del Toro, Guillermo del Toro is the one that came out recently, which, by the way,
Toro, and then there was the one with Tom Hanks, which I heard was bad.
What it does to the original Pinocchio is just
Terrible.
I mean, a little bit of a, I guess, spoiler, I don't know, but anything that's there for a purpose in the original Pinocchio to tell, a story is gone. There is no, like, just the entire arc of the character is gone. And they don't want to take the route of making Pinocchio, say, because he misbehaves in the original one, and he goes to Treasure Island, and he drinks and he smokes cigars, and we're not going to get that in the new one because Pinocchio doesn't need to do these things, but like, that's, he has to go through that. He has to turn into the donkey in order to learn the human condition, and they don't want to do that.
See, that's why I gotta watch. I have to watch Guillermo del Toro's rendition of Pinocchio, because I heard from a lot of reviews that it is actually a great adaptation. And that's the thing, is that a lot of these animated films, Disney has done their own interpretation, but it can be done again and retold in a different perspective, but it has to be done right and rival, if not be better than the Disney adaptation. And I heard that Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is really, really good, and very well done. So I think we all have to pick a time to watch that one.
I will.
Honestly.
I do want to check this one out.
Yeah.
And what you're... Oh no.
Ewan McGregor's in Toro's Pinocchio. I had no idea.
He was,
nice.
yeah. Is he Jiminy Cricket?
Yeah, Sebastian Jiminy Cricket.
That's who Ewan McGregor. That's awesome.
Oh wow.
Also, I mean, I do need to watch it, but I wanted to watch the original before watching at least Toro's. I don't think I'm going to watch the other one, but what's interesting, I think that like Disney found out he was making that, and then they were like scrambling to just make one of their own with Tom Hanks, and that's probably why they just shoehorned a great actor in. Yep. Which he has been shoehorned in a lot of movies recently that have kind of sucked. Right. But Tom Hanks one got, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the greatest, but it's a general idea. Yeah. It got 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Toro's was 97%.
I think that.
So you could tell the drastic difference. Yeah. And Toro's trailer just looked so beautiful.
It did.
Like,
and I'm gonna check this one out, and I agree with what you're saying, though, is that these stories can have different adaptations. The great thing about these original Disney ones is that they were the original.
Yes.
Not the original adaptation. They were they were a adaptation of a classic story, but since they've come out, these are the only stories that's known.
Yep. Exactly.
And rather than looking at this as a great version of a story, it becomes the story to tell. And then Disney just wants to recycle that. But no, we got to do something new. Back then they were doing them new.
Yep. I would agree with that. Man, we're hitting the ground running with these boys.
Absolutely. So
Better keep it up.
Oh, yeah, I will.
what are you going to surprise us with for number 3?
Okay. So for number 3, I'm going with Beauty and the Beast.
All right.
All right.
I mean,
Enough said. No.
Yeah, exactly. We already said. I think everything needs to be said. It is the classic tale of Beauty and the Beast, and to me, I actually rewatched this recently, and it hit me a little bit different this time, and I just think it's beautiful. I mean, the fact that it rivaled Silence of the Lambs, tried to get Best Picture, nominated for Best Picture, and created the best animated film, that says something as well. I think people that were watching this back then, it really, really got to them, and it was great. Very heartfelt, very intense, beautiful. Animation is amazing. The music for both the songs and the soundtrack, I love. I did watch the live action, and it was definitely great, but it's great because of the original.
That's a great point.
Because for the most part, it keeps the same exact aesthetic, and it keeps the same exact story with some extra stuff for sure. And I think that Beauty and the Beast definitely needed a live action as well. And I'm glad that it did happen, and it was great. But there's something about the original that I think makes it superior. There's just something about it. It's superior. But to your point, though, that is probably the best live action interpretation or remake. But yeah, man, Beauty and the Beast, guys. If it's been a while since you watched it, check it out again. It's a great romance. It's one of the best animated films.
Fantastic.
Tagging on to that point, you should also watch The Shape of Water.
Yes, yeah. That's
People,
not seen it yet.
People hate
point.
on The Shape of Water, but they don't hate on Beauty and the Beast.
Guys, I cried for some reason watching Shape of Water, and it is a very strange movie directed by one of my favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro.
I guess we're just talking about Toro a lot.
Yeah, no, literally, yes.
The
No
whole episode.
No, I wish he could do he did do a Beauty and the Beast, but it's The Shape of Water though. But that's a great Beauty and the Beast story, and it's very heartfelt. It's very, very pure. If you haven't seen Shape of Water, guys, watch it. It got nominated for Best Film as well.
Yeah,
so
and
and rightfully so.
It did win, right?
It won
It did.
Best Music,
Okay.
which
Right.
originally pissed me off, but then I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is great.
It
Wait,
is great.
why did it piss you off?
It came out in 2017, right?
I think it was 2018.
2018. Whatever it was, it was a Nolan film. I wanted Dunkirk to win Best Music.
Oh, I
Shape of Water won. And then I listened to it and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's deserving of that award.
Well, it's the same thing with Interstellar. With
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's Interstellar, it lost to Grand Budapest, which, rightfully so. But Interstellar is Hans Zimmer's soundtrack is amazing.
Every time I listen to it, becomes more and more of my favorite, almost beating it as his best composition ever. Which he came out and said that's his favorite composition he's ever done.
Nice.
Which is like, all right, man. All right.
No.
Maybe I should pick it as my favorite too. All right, number 3.
All right. Oh shit!
I think John just saw my pick.
I got a little teaser.
A movie neither of you have seen. A movie that rocked my world, Ivan.
Nice.
Rock my world, Ivan.
A movie that I had said when I first saw it to both of you that it is the closest Disney has come to reaching their best film they've ever made, but in the current era of Disney. Moana.
Wow.
Seen it.
Do tell.
I've seen it at least 6 or 7 times now. I mean, it came out in 2016. I originally went to see it because The Rock was in it, and love The Rock. Then I watched it a second time and I was like, this is actually good. Then with the future viewings, I was like, this is actually a really good story. And while every Disney movie has its similarities, and you can look at Moana and say it's a repeat of every other movie they've made, but I don't know, something about it just feels fresh and good. and obviously having The Rock in there, it definitely helps. But the music is just, the songs specifically are very good, catchy, and Frozen songs are catchy, but when you listen to them too much, they're just good. They're not like, they kind of get annoying sometimes. Moana's is really good. They spent time, I can't remember who was in charge of that, but I don't know. You guys just need to watch it. It's hard to describe it without you guys have seeing it, but it really left an impact on me in the same way that one of my other movies that'll be mentioned later on this list. Not as much, because that movie is just goated, but this movie, I think out of the recent, I wanted to put one that they released recently instead of just talking about all the past ones, because it feels good to see something good from Disney in the past 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in the last couple of years, what we've been experiencing with Marvel's version of Disney and all the live action remakes where everything just kind of sucks. This one in the last decade has been one of the best they've done. It looks great. The locations that they had done for the film, I mean, it's animated, but like they still have to do locations in the film. They look amazing. The emotion level with the Rock's character, specifically Maui, he starts out as like this, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but as this like, I'm the greatest thing that's ever existed. And by the end of the film, you're like, you're taking on this journey through him, and he's not even the main character. And you kind of feel the emotion level for him kind of coming back down to earth and learning to care, while this other classic female Disney character is just a nobody who becomes a somebody.
Right.
So it's like you're here with the first character and you're here with this demigod, and they kind of like meet each other in the middle. So you guys need to watch it, just like I need to watch Dinosaur and Treasure Planet.
That was a strange period back then too, because it was a bunch of remakes that Disney wanted to do to capitalize on everything, and you had a couple that were pretty good, but it just kept remake after remake after remake, or a different adaptation or whatever from a popular IP. But then Moana comes out, and I keep hearing some great things about it. And from what he said, like, it's the best Disney film. It was the best Disney film for in a span of a decade. So like that says something. And Moana still, I probably consider it a classic if you think so, right? So
I could say it as a classic in 5 to 10 years. I mean, I've seen Frozen. I've seen
like 2 months ago.
The original Frozen.
First time I've seen Frozen.
And
I mean, you can, like, the songs are catchy when you watch it.
They're catchy.
But at that time, it got annoying.
I know every word to "You're Welcome," and I've never seen
It's
Moana.
It's
nice.
great. I mean, hearing a big jack dude sing his heart out,
right.
like, and then like another song is called "Shiny." It's a giant snail. That song is
a great pitch.
so freaking good, and I don't know. It's just good. I mean, it's got the whole island vibe on its side, along with a tribe on its side. So, and then I think the other thing I was going to mention, I've seen Frozen, obviously Moana. I did try to watch Coco.
I heard Coco was great.
I heard that was great. I didn't finish it. I just couldn't.
Okay.
Oh,
I think it was
not.
I mean, I probably should finish it, but it just, when I watched it, I was like, they found something phenomenal with Moana, and now they're trying to tackle it completely and run it into the ground with like, because I mean, Moana,
that's Hollywood for you, though. I mean,
like Moana is not Spanish culture. It's like Hawaiian, but like it felt like they found that niche, and then they did it with Coco with Latino culture, and they did it with Soul with African American culture, which I haven't seen Soul, so I heard that one's great. But I just feel like they started something great.
Ooh, that one I believe is Pixar.
Okay, I'm wrong.
No, but Soul was.
But it's a good.
It's an excellent. Yeah.
That's a good one to talk about though too, because
I mean, it's obviously what's been happening in Hollywood with all different shows and stuff. But I just feel like the first one that they did was Moana, and they should have just kind of left it at that. I don't want to see a sequel. I think it's good where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's good though. That's good though, because you I mean, the way you say you want a sequel, like, it's a good beginning, middle, and end. It's a great story. Lives on its own. That's
what it
promising.
is.
That's why it seems like I have to check that out sometime.
But on a side note, if you want to have your life changed, and just be the most inspired you've been in a film in a long time, Soul. I was blown away by that. Might be, we'll have to do a Pixar list one day. Might be their best movie.
Really?
I have not seen an animated movie like this in a long time.
Is
Okay.
Walking Out of Soul. I really am.
Guys,
I'm hyping it up because I was taken by surprise by how amazing it was.
Guys, that's big for us because this dude is literally the god of the Disney animated films. So like
The early one.
that's what I was going to say.
especially the early ones. So like if that actually hit him in a different level, in a different way, then all right, that needs to be checked out then.
Absolutely.
While we're on that tangent, I don't know who did this, Inside Out.
Also Pixar.
Also
Nice.
Pixar. I don't know if you've seen it, but
We actually saw it together.
We did see it together.
Guys,
Man,
oh my
that
gosh.
has been
I did,
that's
though.
2015. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen
That
In
one
the theater.
That one's also really good. I need to see Soul, but that one, when everyone talked about Soul, I kept thinking about Inside Out because that one
Okay.
just goes through the inside of all of our brains and emotional levels, and
Inside
it's
Out
really
was great.
good.
I mean, Pixar has been better than Disney.
I
in
would agree with
recent
that.
years. They've
we got to do an episode on Pixar.
We'll
too.
do one on Pixar.
Yeah.
So that came out in 2015.
Yeah.
Would you say you want to do one on Pixar, but maybe combine that with Pixar and DreamWorks?
No,
Right.
because you can do DreamWorks on its own as well.
I mean, you can. That is true.
What about Illumination?
Prince of Egypt, Shrek,
Yeah, man.
Shrek
Yeah.
2.
That's true. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Well,
yeah.
stay tuned. Just like we're doing episodes
Stay
for
tuned.
the decades of film, we might be doing or episodes of animated films.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
Look at that,
That'd be
coming up
great.
with ideas as we.
And then we'll
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
superhero, Pixar, Illumination, Disney, everything.
And Illumination's got a great one coming out soon, hopefully.
What is that one?
That's going to be our Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah, had to put
Had
that
to
one
bring
in
that
there.
up, and I am stoked for that.
Jack Black as Bowser.
Jack
Sign me
Black
up.
is going to kill it as Bowser.
I didn't know it was Jack Black as Bowser.
Oh, this cast is incredible.
Oh, okay.
Jack Black, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Charlie Day as Luigi,
I'm not
Chris
surprised.
Pratt as Mario. It's
Wow.
Keegan Michael Key as Toad.
Wow.
That-
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Stellar cast.
Stellar guys.
Good.
Um,
Probably spent so much freaking money on all that, but hey, I mean that's awesome. All right.
So for number 3,
drum roll.
yeah, I don't think it's as good as my number 4 and 5.
Okay.
I think the quality of the film is lower than these, but it's not saying much because we're talking Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, maybe up there for can grab at the title of greatest animated film of all time.
Okay.
I wouldn't give it to this one, but out of pure entertainment, nostalgia, humor, we're gonna go with Aladdin.
Okay. Wow. As soon as you said that, why didn't I think it was Aladdin? As soon as you said that, I completely agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
It is fun as hell, and that's probably why it's number 3 for you. But I will agree, like, yeah, for your 4 and 5, it's not as good as far as story, but
No,
like,
not
it's fun as hell though.
It's
Good. Don't
And-
freaking smile over there.
greatest animated. I don't know how to explain. I mean, Robin Williams' role as the genie.
Phenomenal.
It's got to be the best for an animated feature film. The best performance ever done.
Yeah, I mean,
mean,
yeah, that's a
don't get
that's a
that
great
often.
point. Great point.
And I think that alone gives it so much award. Not to mention, obviously, I don't want to sell the movie short. It is a great story,
It is, yes.
and it's classic tale of of being yourself, finding who you are, being proud of who you are.
A whole new world's out there.
Yes,
Wow.
but wrapped in this fun movie with Robin Williams as the genie doing the best performance of all time.
Yeah.
Incredible songs. I think
Yes.
second best for any Disney movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
none of the songs miss in this film.
I completely agree with you on that one.
Great villain.
Yes.
Better
Yeah.
villain than our other 2 entries previously with Jafar. Maybe not. Maybe not better than Pinocchio.
No, you might. No, I agree.
And just more charismatic.
You're getting in there as we're going down our list. You're gonna start getting into the better villains. I think Jafar, the way you have it, you're getting into the better villains. I agree. Jafar has that charisma and that intimidation in his way.
Classic villain.
Yes.
And I very much grew up with Aladdin. That was one of those kind of like
Same.
the VHS was often played. So I watched it more than Beauty and the Beast, definitely growing up, and Pinocchio. So that is why I put it at 3, just because if someone were to ask me throughout most of my life, what's your favorite Disney movie? My traditional answer would be Aladdin at 3, followed by these next 2.
Nice. I you're still teasing.
Yep.
But quick tangent though. I know that we obviously Disney had the straight to DVD films.
Oh,
which
yes.
definitely ranged in varying quality.
Right.
Mostly in the not so good. Am I the only one that thinks that the third Aladdin film, what was it, Prince of Thieves?
Prince of Thieves.
Am I the only one that thinks that actually wasn't that bad? It's better than the second one, Return of Jafar.
I've seen Return of Jafar.
It's not good. But the third one, I actually really enjoyed that, and I kind of wish that was not live action. I wish that was theatrically made.
Really?
It deals with Aladdin's father coming in.
About that.
And I think it was actually good. That's through memory. I remember that being not that bad of a straight to DVD film. So you have to watch it for sure. And then I got to get your interpretation on it.
I will check that out. Okay, you know what? I was gonna ask you a question about it, and I don't remember what the question was.
Nice.
Oh, have you seen the Family Guy segment of Stewie saying we need to do away with bad Disney, the direct-to-video remakes?
No.
And then he goes, look, Aladdin 5, Jafar needs glasses. And then,
That's awesome.
and then
I gotta see
Jafar,
that.
one,
That's awesome.
maybe 2. It's just
That's amazing.
that's what that reminded me of. That's
I didn't even know there was a third film. I heard about the second one, but
and an animated series.
Yes, which I watched as a kid too.
it's time to get a video game now.
Oh, one of the best video games for the Sega Genesis.
I
freaking
don't know
love that you
anything
said
about
that.
Aladdin. I'm finding out.
That's great.
This
man.
is why if you need any questions or have any questions about Disney, you just ask Sam.
Very much, dude. That dude is
Just
a
like
connoisseur of
message him.
classic Disney, like that dude. Yes,
So now, we're rolling into your number 2. Yeah.
boys. I had an epiphany. Okay.
All right, if yours is the same as mine, I'm gonna lose my.
Well, if it is, just join in, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what is?
I watched this film recently, guys. To kind of like, it was kind of like locked away in my memories, and when I watched it, it was like, wow, this is actually really, really amazing. This is so good.
If yours is the same as mine, we'll just talk about it together.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
I have a
we
feeling
make the
way
rules,
you're-
so
the
why
way
the
you're
hell?
talking about this?
Yeah,
I feel
Okay.
yeah.
It hit me in a different way. It's just beautiful. It is the Hunchback of
Wow.
Notre Dame.
Yep, mine's the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Very nice, very nice. Boys, like this, I don't know, man. Like this hit different. It was great.
Yeah.
The story is great. The characters are great. Quasimodo is a great freaking character. It's iconic. I think the villain, I don't know, man. I think he could be probably one of the best, if not the best villain in Disney, in my opinion. There's so much layers to Judge Claude Frollo. He is amazing. The fact that he thinks that he is above sin and thinks all the peasants, they're sinners, and especially the gypsies. And then he sees Esmeralda, and the scene with the song Hellfire is, I think, literally the best. And notice how in that track, that song, that sequence, it's not flamboyant or crazy colors, all this crazy dance numbers. It's literally a man pleading to Maria or God that, like, it's not my fault, I'm seduced by lust, by Esmeralda, and he's like, destroy her, but no, I want her, she's mine. I don't know, man. Like, it hit different.
Yeah.
It was so good, and I really think he's one of the best Disney villains. All around, the cast is great. It's beautifully animated because it's like literally on the peak of Disney animation. We agree that like, obviously the 2D animation of Disney was great in the 80s, but like the 90s is where it really just skyrocketed.
I'd say the best 2 decades for Disney animation in general was the 90s and the 1950s.
100%. I agree with that. 100%. But yeah, man, it's just, I don't know, dude. Like, it's dark. It's lighthearted at times too. I think it honestly bridges the gap perfectly with having to go adult orientated and go dark, but also have the family orientated stuff. And it's literally probably the best interpretation of the Hunchback of Notre Dame story. You know, I know we've had a lot of stories, especially the old school films. I have yet to see a live action or another animated interpretation of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I don't think it'll be topped.
I hope Disney doesn't do it though. I hope if we get a
Really?
live action, I would love for Disney not to do it. I think we're gonna get I don't think they're gonna do it the same if they did it again.
If
Like they're water it down.
see, that's the thing is, if in my opinion, like, if it's not done by Disney and hopefully done by another studio, and I would love if Guillermo del Toro did it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Dude, either Guillermo del Toro or Tim Burton.
I want the Quentin Tarantino Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yo, that
Snyder.
that would be an experience like no other. Zack Snyder.
Zack
Oh
Snyder.
my gosh!
Or there'd
Holy
be slow-mo galore.
yo,
Michael
what
Bay's
the heck?
Hunchback of
All right,
Notre Dame.
yo, let's put
the Eiffel
let's
Tower
make that happen.
explodes, bro.
Okay, interesting.
No,
But yeah,
on a comical note, the Gargoyles is us three.
It's so
All right, I figured it out. Sam, you guys can't see it unless you're watching. We'll put it up on the screen. But
Yeah.
Victor is Sam, Hugo is me, and Laverne is John.
Which one's voiced by Jason Alexander?
oh,
It's got
Jason Alexander, you say?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he does the voice of one of them. George Costanza?
Hugo. That's, I don't know if that's a. It doesn't show his picture. Oh, yeah, he's you.
Oh, word.
wine, women, and son. You know that line, right?
Wait, which one?
Is the pudgy one, right?
The pudgy one,
wine, women, and son. The whole- when he's
Wine,
like-
women, and son.
Yeah.
Now, I watched that movie only with you guys the one time. And that's
Wow.
rare for
Whoa, I forgot about that.
pre-2000. I mean, me with the pre-2000
Right.
Disney movies, the ones that I grew up watching. I'd seen most of them.
Right.
But it was that one, Pocahontas, Tarzan. I'm pretty much just naming the second half of the Renaissance.
Right,
And
right.
Mulan were the ones that I hadn't seen.
Nice.
That you had shown me.
Very nice. Yeah, no, dude, it's phenomenal. Like, do yourself a favor and rewatch The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You will not be disappointed. The songs are great. The music, the actual motion picture soundtrack is phenomenal and epic. It's epic and just huge, and I love it. That's my number 2.
Yep, my
That was
number
your
two is the
number two as well.
same. He described it way better than I ever could.
In defense of.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, it obviously rated G, and the category is musical family, but it's probably one of the darkest ones you could freaking
Yeah,
watch.
It is.
man.
I haven't seen Black Cauldron either, but
Oh,
I know
man.
that's getting into that
Yeah,
territory.
it is. Oh, like Black Cauldron's. I think that's underrated too. I mean, it's not amazing, but it is dark, and I don't know, man. I just love it when Disney just was able to just kind of like, you know, it's family oriented stuff for kids, but we're showing some dark stuff. I just
There
love
was
that
a-
edginess.
If there was a Disney Plus dark,
Dark side.
John would be the first subscriber.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about a classic that I don't believe is on Disney Plus as well, which is Make Mine Music
Make my
with the feature segment of Peter and the Wolf.
Yo, dude. Yo, don't even get me started on that, bro. Like, I love the Peter and the Wolf story, and I actually really enjoyed the Peter and the Wolf segment that Disney did, and it's phenomenal. It's so nostalgic for me. there has been other interpretations of Peter and the Wolf. There's a stop motion that is more realistic, and I think it's great. You gotta watch that, dude. It's only 40 minutes, and there's no dialogue. It's all stop motion though, and it's all just a visual storytelling, and it's phenomenal. But yeah, that's another thing. Like Disney, come on, bro. Like, why can't you put that on Disney Plus? Like, come on. Another thing is the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. The movie and the show.
Well, there's so much stuff that I can't understand why it's not.
Oh man, that is now we're getting into childhood, bro. Like, what in the world?
Whoever is listening, I grew up watching. Do you remember the House of Mouse show?
Yes, the House of Mouse show, dude.
I want that on Disney Plus.
I want that for sure.
Disney ensemble show.
Yes,
you're not gonna put it on your.
I know.
It's your Space Jam.
Pretty much. That is a good comparison. Yeah.
And it's not on there. So that's crazy. Same one.
Yep.
My number 2, I know you love this one.
Ooh.
And I think we've all watched it together, actually. But this is going to be what I consider to be extremely, believe it or not, as big as this movie is, underrated Disney film. Because the story here and the heart in this movie is captured like almost none other. And that answer is The Jungle Book.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know why I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, same. I was like, whoa, what? But when you said that,
growing up, Jungle Book was
dude.
My most I can probably quote that entire movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just fantastic. I mean, when
I agree.
It is. It really is. In terms of the classic era of Disney movie, the really classic, like when Walt was still around type movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and Pinocchio are the two best ones, and that's even when I rewatched. When I said the only one that went above Pinocchio as I was watching them was actually Jungle Book.
Nice.
And it's the story. It's that father-son story between Baloo and Mowgli, and it's weird when you watch the movie. Most people would expect you should watch it as Mowgli as your protagonist, and obviously the Jungle Book stories, Mowgli is the protagonist. Right. But here's that great charm of a Disney movie. Because in the original story, Baloo is the mentor, showing, like he is in the animated one, he's showing Mowgli the ways of the jungle, teaching him the lessons and the rules of the jungle.
Yep.
But in our Disney one, he becomes the jungle bum. But I think if you follow the story through Baloo as the protagonist, you have this even better story of somebody who is carefree, who has no care for responsibility, and then he ends up forming this father-son bond with Mowgli, goes and fights Shere Khan to save him, sacrifices himself, and really learns what it is to almost be a parent, but then also what it is to have that bond and that type of love where he is willing to go out and save Mowgli and go up against the tiger or the beast of the film. But then instead of the lesson being Mowgli finding where he belongs, the real lesson is Baloo having to do what's best and let Mowgli go. That is a beautiful story.
That's a great perspective, dude.
And I listen to Sam talk about
I know. Dude's on a roll. I love this.
I love that movie. Amazing soundtrack. My favorite, maybe second favorite Disney movie, second favorite ending. Actually, maybe my favorite ending to a Disney movie.
Nice.
Because it's so wholesome with the...
It says very wholesome, but if you really think about it, like comparison, that is us three.
Oh, it's us.
You're Mowgli, I'm Bagheera, and you're Baloo.
It is the most... That is our personalities, if you're wondering.
Oh, man.
Oh, I can't argue that at all.
That kills me.
But
I feel like every Disney movie you could put three of us in the film somewhere.
Yes, I would agree with that. But Jungle Book, that is perfect comparison.
Or, I mean, the freaking vultures.
The vulture.
Holy crap, dude.
Inspired by the Beatles. That's who that is supposed to be.
We'll just throw in Griffin there somewhere.
Yeah, no, but I could also say that, two of the vultures is definitely you and your wife.
So what are we gonna do?
What do we want to do today?
Oh man,
what do you want to do?
On a side note, before we go into our number one, what did you think of the there's 3 live action, but we're not talking about the 90s. What do you think of the 90s one? But what do you think about the the 2 live action ones. The one with directed by Jon Favreau,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one directed by Andy Serkis.
I'm glad you brought that up because one with Jon Favreau, we have the mistake of it being trying to be a remake of the 1967 one, just live action. I love Jon Favreau, but I do not feel like it succeeded.
Okay.
The Andy Serkis one is phenomenal. Mowgli.
I would agree with that too, because at least Andy Serkis's interpretation of the Jungle Book is what an interpretation or a remake should be.
And it's not based off the cartoon. It's based off the book.
It's based off the book. It's
another adaptation.
More mature Mowgli. It's definitely darker for sure. I think that's definitely better than the Jon Favreau one. And I think it was also thing about like with Jon Favreau's Jungle Book, everyone thought the animation was phenomenal, and then we decided to get let's get a Lion King live action, and we all know how that went.
Yep.
I'm glad I wanted to bring that up because I actually really enjoyed Mowgli. I enjoyed that way more than Jungle Book. So, underrated.
I think out of all of I still think out of all the Jungle Book movies, the animated one is the best. 1967.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
But Mowgli would be your second best Jungle Book film.
I would agree.
Yeah. Rolling into a number one.
Okay.
I mean,
we might as well. I mean, we're not gonna. We might as well just jump in on this. I think we kind of know what our number one is, but I definitely want our boy Sam here to just announce it to the world.
Tell you what,
say it at the same time.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Let's announce our number one.
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Lion King.
There's no other option.
I mean, come on. All right.
Only other
Lion
option-
King. See you later. Have a good night. No.
The only other option was Lion King 1.5.
Okay. Don't go that far. I mean, you could have said Lion King 2, and I would have at least kind of agreed with you a little bit because I think that film is a little underrated. But the first Lion King.
All right, who goes
Come on,
first?
dude.
The unfortunate
let's
thing
just
here
jump
is
in. Let's
we
jump in.
all, I feel like since we all love this movie, it's hard to, like, we should be overselling this one the most, but we all love it. Like, but what do we say? Because we're all going to be in agreement. But
The story, the characters, the music, the songs, but then also the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer as well. It's just phenomenal. The animation, it's just phenomenal.
Everything
guys.
that
it still holds up.
Perfect.
It still holds up. Like, I literally don't see it. Like, what else can you do in that film?
You can't.
Nothing.
It's phenomenal, dude.
I mean, every single character is perfect.
Yeah.
There's no character that doesn't need to be there.
Yep.
The villain, Scar.
Yeah.
I mean, you still feel for him.
You still do. You do.
You
And,
do.
like, you
do.
kind of see his side.
I'm glad you said that because the live action, the one good thing about the live action is that they explored that a little bit more. However, though, they did make Mufasa and Simba more dickish than we needed to, because that we really feel for Scar a little bit more, which is an interesting take. However, you didn't need to do it like
Better
that,
as
in my
petty.
opinion. What?
It's better as petty.
I agree, exactly. But it's better than petty. I don't know. The live action, it should never have been made. There were some interesting things. It should never. There's interesting things with that, with Scar's character, also the relationship with Surabi as well, Mufasa and Mufasa's queen, and also Simba's mother. Some interesting things there that were explored, especially if you look at the novelization of stories of like prequel stories.
What was his name? Previously, it was
I believe it was called Taka. I think it was called Taka.
Taka.
Yeah. But now we're going to some deep
to the
stuff here, bro. Like, I can't believe I know that.
Let's go. I mean,
Dark
yeah.
web of Lion King, bro.
it's out there now, though.
It is. That is
Taka.
true.
It is.
That is true. Yeah.
It doesn't look as bad with us saying it now than it would like.
Fair
10 years
enough.
ago.
Fair enough. But no, dude. I mean, yes, you're right with Scar, one of the best villains. I still think Judge Claude Frollo from Notre Dame is better, but Scar, in my opinion, he really now, whether or not you compare them, that's charisma. I will agree with that. He has more charisma than Judge Claude. I think they are two completely different characters, but they both have layers though that I love, and that's why they're two of my favorite villains.
Have we mentioned
having
the incredible
Jeremy-
voice cast even?
Oh,
Jeremy Irons, James Earl Jones,
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick, Rowan Atkins.
yeah, you forgot Mr. Bean himself.
Bro, he's Zazu.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Wait, you didn't know?
I mean,
That's the
I
first time.
did.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's
Damn.
Mr. Bean.
That just
Nathan
yeah.
Lane.
Yeah. Justin had a realization
Nathan
here
Lane's
live
the
on
moment.
this set, guys.
Yo,
That's
that
amazing.
is crazy.
That just adds extra kudos to Lion King for him now.
Jim Cummings, Whoopi Goldberg,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Right.
John Mark Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, kid from Home Improvement.
Oh yes,
Simba.
That's right. See, I didn't know that at first, but as soon as you said that, I got that immediately. Very
But-
nice.
I mean, it's perfect. You can't.
No, and it's it's what an animated movie should be.
I
Where
agree.
they didn't treat it as we are making. I feel like they didn't treat it like we're making a cartoon. I mean,
No, I agree.
they treated it like,
and-
and it shows.
It was true, and it was lightning in a bottle. This film should not have been as good as it was. Like, everybody was doubting it.
Yeah.
You gotta keep in mind, like, Pocahontas was being made at the same time, and people thought Pocahontas was gonna be the greatest film ever done by Disney, and even the animators, people were working on Pocahontas. Like, dude, to the other animators that were doing Lion King, like, why are you, doing this? This is, they had all the odds against them, and yet when it was released,
I mean,
what can you say now?
Even the music, like I think one of you said that Hans Zimmer didn't even want to do this until his daughter, like he pretty much just did it for his daughter, and
Yeah.
it comes out to be one of the best scores he ever composed.
I think This Land might be potentially my favorite film score of all time. I mean,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I
that and
listen to it
that and the
so much.
Stampede track are
Stampede's great.
so
I mean, the score,
amazing.
having Hans Zimmer behind the wheel of
Yeah,
that is just it helps take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Granted, let's say Hans Zimmer didn't even have the music.
Right.
In terms of Disney movies, it would still be the best. Even the music brings it to a level that's untouchable.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
When
I
you said
think
that. Yep. I would agree with that.
Even if it
I would agree
had
with that.
the same level of music that's put into most Disney films,
Right.
it would still be the best movie with the story alone.
That's interesting you said that, because I just cannot see this without Zimmer's music. That's
No.
the thing. And you're right though, because
Yeah.
like it elevates it. It really elevates it. Because it probably could still have been amazing, but like there's just something about Zimmer's music with this story that's
With
just
this story, with
phenomenal,
these
dude.
characters.
And I'm glad we're talking about this because yes, the songs are great. Hakuna Matata and Circle of Life. I think
Prepared.
Be Prepared. I think
You
is an
Feel the Love
underrated
Tonight?
track.
Can you feel love? I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
exactly.
having Elton John right
Oh, I
here.
know. I know.
It's incredible.
The
Yeah.
songs are great. The score
are.
is just that much better.
Oh,
That's
couldn't have said it better myself.
the harsh
Absolutely.
truth.
But
I mean,
I think the best songs from a Disney film.
Yeah.
yeah,
As far as on a consistent basis, yes,
They're all great.
because some of the Disney films, they have varied degrees of quality.
Mm-hmm.
More so, like which one's better than the other. But this one has a consistent boom, boom, boom.
Those
They're all
was it,
banging.
5 songs. You look forward to them. You don't want to skip them.
yeah.
Exactly, I would agree.
But yes, I do think "Be Prepared" might be the best song in the movie.
Dude, I'm glad that we're talking about that too. I'm glad you said that because I think it's underrated, bro. Like,
It's so good.
I'd say it's controversial, but I don't care. Like, I think Be Prepared is better than Hakuna Matata. I'll say it here.
I
I just
think-
think
I
I think
think
it's
when
because
you're a kid-
everybody, yeah, as a kid, but like
As you grow up,
everybody talks about Lion King. Oh, Hakuna Matata. It's like I always hear it, but it's like, bro, be prepared, man. It's great. It's a
Hakuna
great
Matata
villain.
has, I'm sorry, that instrumental break in Hakuna Matata though, with
Yes,
the
I would agree
the
with that.
bridge cross, that music
Yes.
is just
That is phenomenal. I would agree. No, it's that whole film is just put lightning in a bottle, and it's amazing.
I don't think anything can be more. I mean, it's the most tragic.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was
Film.
going to say.
Yes.
Like, even as an adult watching it, I still want to cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. No,
I
it's-
Still get that tickle in my throat where I'm like, I don't want to cry right now, but I do. And as a kid, I remember watching it every single time. I would expect Mufasa to not
You know,
die.
jumps up on the rock. You're
Yeah,
like, okay, he's
right,
gonna.
right.
He's gonna live.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking it was a soft sequel for some reason. And then every time this happened, and that just shows how good the story is and how great the music is. Like,
And I don't think you can be more inspired in a Disney film than maybe the Remember.
Yes. Yes, dude. Oh, it's so
I mean,
good, man.
Come on, that's the movie right there in a sense. But I mean that I got chills just thinking about that scene. It's just it's phenomenal.
I mean, the Simba, Mufasa, Scar, Sarabi, Zazu, even Rafiki, like they're all.
Yeah.
You
Timon and Pumbaa.
say all their names.
Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, yeah.
Like pretty much anyone you talk to know who those characters are.
Yep.
And most of like Pumbaa, Timon, those are all side characters. Everyone knows who they are.
Yep.
That says volumes about the film itself.
It does. It really does, man.
Solidifies it.
I don't know. I mean, best Disney film to date, and probably never will be beat.
I really don't see it being beat.
I don't either. I mean, good luck. Any Disney or any filmmaker is going to try, but people haven't done it for years. That's something.
Yeah, I've never seen that much put into an animated film. Not underselling all these other ones.
No, but Lightning the Bottle, dude. There was something about The Lion King that just hit everybody. It's great.
Well, that is our picks for Disney films.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favorite Disney film is below and why you like it. And I think that's all we got for this one. All right. Well, to maybe end it on a Disney note, see you real soon.